So in this video, I'll give you a detailed breakdown of the top 3 best LLC services that you can use to form your LLC today. Specifically in this video, we're going to be covering the pros and cons of each LLC service, and we'll cover the different price points of each of these services. And then I'll also show you a step-by-step process that I personally used when forming my LLC. And we'll also talk about, how these different services rank against each other in a format of good, better, and best. And then I'll also show you a bonus service towards the end of the video that I personally used when forming my S-Corp. And, depending on how much money you're going to be making, that one could end up being the best fit for you, so we'll talk about it as well. This video is exactly what I wish I had around 7 years ago when I started my business, and I had to go through tons of articles trying to find the right LLC formation service that worked best for me. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Josh. I'm one of the highest earning freelancers on Upwork.com with over $1.1 million earned. I also have direct clients as well, so my total business income is around $2 million. So I can tell you from my personal experience that the legal and tax status of your business is definitely something you don't want to handle yourself, because you don't want to put yourself at the risk of filing something incorrectly or doing something incorrectly that could affect your taxes and penalties and all that stuff. My goal is to give you my honest opinion of each LLC service in this video to help you start your business and form your LLC the right way. So the first LLC formation service is Northwest Registered Agent. So one of the things that really stands out about Northwest is their excellent US-based customer support. This is actually one of the things that I like most about Northwest, and I really feel like it helps differentiate them as well as an LLC service. So you can see here, they employ over 900 customer service employees nationwide, and these are all in the US. And that's one thing you're going to find is different about Northwest. A lot of these other LLC services, they do have good customer support, but they do leverage a lot of overseas, employees for their customer support. But Northwest does not. Working with other companies, signing up with different types of services, a lot of times you'll get emails from different companies, and it's a no reply email address. Like you can't reply to that email and ask a question. However, if you sign up with Northwest, whatever email communication they send out, doesn't matter what it is, you can reply to it and talk to someone from customer support. So some other things that I really like about their customer support is that they will never, sell your information to third parties. A lot of other companies will do this. Their support phone number is at the bottom of every page on the website. This is something else that's very, good and differentiates them in today's day and age, where most of these websites try to force you to talk to, an AI generated auto chat. This is one of the reasons why their customer support is so great. They make it very clear how you can contact them. There's nothing worse than sending an email about something that's really important about your business and having to wait for someone to reply to you in like 1 to 3 days. If you call them and you get their voicemail, they will return your call within 2 hours. And every email from their staff has a proper signature, so you know exactly who you're talking to. You're not sending an email to a group inbox and then a bunch of people are replying to it. Companies that understand that customer service and word of mouth is the most important thing for a business, they get that. And a lot of these other, LLC services don't. And that's one of the best things about Northwest Registered Agent. Their LLC formation service is also a flat rate at $39. Now you can add things onto it, which, I would recommend and I'll show you in this video, but they have one flat rate that doesn't have any hidden fees. And they charge the same price every year for their registered agent. They don't try to hook you in at a low price and then the following year increase it substantially like a lot of these other services do. And they've even stated that they have hundreds of people that come to them every single day who are frustrated, with different LLC services and looking for a better alternative. They literally say on their website that they don't care about growth or revenue. They focus on the customer and customer satisfaction, which is really smart because if you focus on the customer, the growth and revenue come automatically. So I really like that about them, and it's something you don't see on, any other LLC service. And when you sign up with Northwest, the registered agent service is free for your first year. Having a registered agent, basically keeps your business organized and compliance with legal obligations. That's the reason that you want to have a registered agent. They have a flat rate for the registered agent. It's $125 a year, which is actually a really good price, when you compare it to other services as well. Having a registered agent, no matter who you use for it, it's a requirement to establish your business. They're also the only national registered agent that lets you use their own office, Northwest own address, on state records to minimize your exposure, so you don't have to list your home address. And they also have very strict privacy practices in place to prevent someone or, a hacker from accessing your data. They also have very affordable add-ons that you can add individually, and they're not packaged together like a lot of other LLC services do. So for their add-ons like BOI, EIN, which is your tax ID, we'll talk more about what these mean, and business identity services, you can actually individually choose and, pick and choose which ones you want. They don't force everything into a package and say, hey, you buy this package or you don't. They give you the option to individually choose. So for the BOI, which is the business ownership information, it's actually a, somewhat new requirement that you have to do now. And I personally would recommend adding it on so you don't have to do it yourself. It's a federal requirement, so you're going to have to do it one way or another. And I'll show you how to do that in Northwest when I show you the step-by-step sign-up process. So we'll get to that here in a moment. Now, when you do business taxes or you have like an accountant do it or whatever service you use, they're going to be using your business tax ID, which is going to be your EIN. So it's a very important number. And I'll show you some more about that here in a moment. And Northwest will basically take care of all the paperwork that's involved with getting your EIN or tax ID from the IRS. And they also have a bunch of, optional business identity services. They will actually build a 3-page business website for you. So it's going to have like a home page, about page, and contact page with your own business domain, which that comes, that's another thing as well. Their main goal with these services is to help establish an online presence for your business in less than 10 minutes. So we'll take a look at those as well. Now I want to show you the step-by-step sign-up process. I want to show you, how I set up my LLC, the different add-ons that I would highly recommend that you get, and just show you the step-by-step process. It's extremely simple. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So to get to the Northwest sign-up page, you can use the first link down below in the description, or you can go to joshburnstech.com/Northwest. So let's go ahead and go there. And if you do use my link down below in the description, that's actually my affiliate link. So you will be supporting the channel. You don't need to, you can go to their website and sign up if you want to do that. But if you choose to use my link, I greatly appreciate it. And I just want to let you know that. So this is the homepage of Northwest. So let's go ahead and click right here where it says, let's get you started. So first off, we have to choose, what type of business that we want to start. So obviously that's going to be LLC if you're watching this video. They have corporation like S-Corp and, nonprofit as well. But, for the purpose of this video, we're starting an LLC. So make sure you have that selected right here. Okay, so next we need to select the state in which we're forming the LLC. So for me, I live in Kentucky. So I'm going to scroll down through here and there we go. There's Kentucky. Now you can see when I selected Kentucky, the pricing changed over here on the right-hand side. So each state has their own filing fee. And you can see right here that Kentucky, the filing fee for an LLC is $40, which is actually pretty cheap compared to other states. And I'll show you what I mean by that. There's different LLC formation websites where you can, form an LLC for free. That's how they advertise it. However, it's never completely free because you have to pay, the state fee. So you can see California has 3 different options. They have $90 where it's processed in 10 days. And then all the way up to $165 where it's processed in 6 days. And, depending on which one you select, it could be even higher. Like Alabama, you wouldn't think that Alabama has higher fees than California, but Alabama's range from $236 to $311. So let's go back to Kentucky. We like the $40 fees a lot more than what I was looking at earlier. And, you do have a few options here. Like if I wanted, it processed in 1 business day, I could choose this option here for $115. I don't really care about that. So what I'm going to do is just leave it here on the, processed in 5 days. They do offer same business day filing, but I still have to wait on Kentucky. And, like I said, you can change this here, processed in 531, but the overall time is really going to depend on your state. And then the last option we have on this first page here is, again, we talked about this a little while ago, the Beneficial Ownership Information, or BOI. This, again, is a new federal requirement. You have to start filing this. So you can actually use Northwest to file this for you. And then we can see over here, here it is, BOI Report Compliance. It's only $25 with Northwest. And I say only $25 because all the other LLC services that I've looked at, the other two on this video as well, it's more expensive with those. And it's actually, pretty significantly more expensive. So Northwest has the cheapest BOI filing that I've found so far. And for any of these, if you want to see more information about them, you can actually click on this question mark here, and it tells you why it's, a federal requirement and you have 30 days to actually file it. So let's go ahead and move on to the next page. We can click continue, or you can actually click up here as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now on the company tab, we need to fill out some information about our business. The first thing being, what do we want the business name to be? So my business name is going to be Josh Burns Tech. Okay, then we have an option. Do we want to send a copy of lawsuits and legal notices to your attorney? If you don't have an attorney, like you don't have a lawyer that you've worked with in the past that you want, those things to go to, then leave this selected as no. If you do have one, you can do yes, and you can put their email address right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put no for this. Okay, so next you need to basically, write down your business purpose. Like, what is the purpose of your business? What services do you provide? What products do you sell? Things like that. So you can choose this option here to use a generic business purpose. So if you, select that, it's just going to use something generic. Okay, so for me, I could say providing SQL Server DBA consulting services and content creation. I do, SQL Server database administration for a bunch of companies all over the US. So that's one half of my business. And the other half is my content creation, like the content I create on YouTube, on my blog, and things like that as well. We can go ahead and move down here. Okay, so next, physical address you want to be on record with the state. Now, this is where the registered agent comes in. You can use Northwest as the registered agent. You get that service free for a year. So I'm going to leave this selected here, our registered agent address. Now, again, if you don't want to use them as your registered agent, you have to either have a specific address that you can use, or you have to use your home address. So again, that's one of the benefits of having a registered agent. And again, you can click this option here and it tells you, what this actually means, what the principal address is. And, that's why I'm going to go ahead and select to use them instead of using my own address. And then for mailing address, I'm going to use Northwest registered agent as well. So again, this is the main benefit of having a registered agent service. And that's why we're going to keep those two options selected. Okay, so for management type, you have two options. You have member managed, which this is the main one that pretty much, the majority of LLCs that get formed will choose. And then you also have manager managed. The key difference here is for member managed, basically the owners can make all the decisions for the LLC. And then manager managed is basically you have to appoint a manager and they are in charge of making a lot of the decisions. So if you're going to be a single member LLC, which most of you will, that's, what I am, then go ahead and select member managed. And you can see a, much more detailed description of what both of these mean. But again, for, probably 99% of you, this is the option you're going to select. If you're a single member LLC, it's going to be one person, and that one person is going to be you. So we'll type in for me, Joshua Burns. And again, we're going to use them as our registered agent. So everything here is good. We can go ahead and click continue. And then contact details, go ahead and fill out your contact details here. They'll keep it private, as you can see. So we'll go ahead and skip past that for now. And then for account setup, go ahead and put in your email address and type in a password as well. Definitely make sure it's a strong password. And that's all you have to do on this one. So we'll go ahead and go to the next tab. this is what we talked about earlier. This is a, custom thing that Northwest offers to you, and it's completely optional. So their business identity package comes with 5 different services. You have domain name registration, which is free for 1 year. So for me, that would be, reserving the domain name joshburnstech.com. I can use this service right here to buy that domain name, and I would have it registered for the first year, and the next year I would have to pay for the registration. The next is the website. It's going to be hosted by Northwest Registered Agent. Again, they'll build you a 3-page website with a homepage, contact page, and about page. And then next you have the SSL certificate for your website, which is something you would definitely want. You can also have up to 10 business email addresses. So for me personally, I use about 2 or 3 different email addresses. I have my main business email address, and then I have another one, which is basically a contact email address. So I don't have to put my email address on my website and, other places as well. You can use Northwest service here to have a business phone number and basically have it forward to your personal cell phone. So if someone, calls your business number, then your personal phone, your cell phone is going to ring, but you don't have to publicly put your personal phone number on like your website and other places as well. So the business identity package you can get for free for 90 days. And if you choose to keep it after 90 days, then you can get a 20% discount if you use every one of them. Now, let's say for instance, you're like, okay, the, business phone number service looks cool. I would probably use that and maybe use, the business email addresses as well. But, say you don't want to do the website hosting or domain name, you want to use someone else, which is what I personally do. So, I personally use hostinger.com. I've talked about them in other videos I have. I use them for my website hosting. I also have a business email set up through them. They're, in my opinion, the best website hosting service. So you can find a link down below in the description. I have a promo code with them, which is Josh Burns Tech. The great thing about Northwest is that you can individually choose what you want. So you don't have to, pay for everything. You can individually choose things. So if you wanted the phone service, you could select the phone service, and maybe you want like phone service and business email, you can do that. You can choose whatever you want. So, let's say you chose, this option here for everything. So what's going to happen is the first 90 days, you don't pay anything. And then after 90 days, each one of these different services are $9 per month. So, if you choose all of them, that's going to be $45 per month. If you choose one, it's going to be $9 per month. Once we finish this sign-up process, I'm going to show you a presentation slide. It's going to have the total amount you would be spending, for this main plan here we're doing, another option if you do add-ons, and then how much you'll be paying per year. Okay, so now let's look at some other items that we can choose to add on as well. So first off, we have the tax ID. So if you form an LLC, you're going to have to get a tax ID or EIN. You'll either have to do it through whatever service you use like Northwest, or you have to go to your state's website and do it manually yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and select it here. You can see there's 2 pricing options. If you have a social security number, it's going to be $50. If you don't, it's going to be $200. So we're going to go ahead and leave this selected right here. And then there's a few different ones as well. Like you could do S-Corp election with the IRS. There are 2 basic sides of your business when you form an LLC. There's the legal status and there's the tax status. I'm going to talk more about this later in the video when I tell you about the bonus service, but you could also form an S-Corp. So you could use S-Corp as your tax election. And what that's going to do is, essentially help you save some money on self-employment taxes. If you make $60,000 or more with your business, then it can be beneficial for you. Now, I'm not going to select it here, like you could select it, but you would still have to work with a CPA to manage everything for you, or a service, which again, I'll show you about later. So they also have a premium mail service. So if you were to use them as your registered agent, they will basically accept all, types of mail communication. But I'm not going to select that. We're going to leave that unchecked. And same thing for trademark. Like if you wanted to trademark your business name, you could pay them to, trademark it for you. But, I think for most of you, you're probably not going to select any of these additional options here. Okay, so that's everything on optional items. We can go ahead and click continue. And now the only thing we have to do is pay for our LLC to be formed. You could basically get the basic package. It's at flat rate $39 when you sign up. And then we have $40 for the Kentucky LLC formation fees. And we also added the tax ID or the EIN. And lastly, we added the BOI report compliance as well. These are the basic things that, I would recommend that you add on when you sign up with Northwest. So, it's really going to depend on how much your state fees are. But for me, the total price of using Northwest is going to be $154 for everything that I personally wanted to add on to it. Okay, so now let's take a look at two different plans that I put together for you, which is basically what you're going to pay if you choose to form your LLC with Northwest, and the other half is going to be if you choose to use them as your registered agent, which is going to renew after a year. Okay, so the first plan, which I just showed you, is going to be $114 plus whatever your state fees are. And that's going to give you the registered agent, which is free for 1 year. It's going to give you your tax ID or EIN and the BOI report compliance. So that's plan 1. Plan 2 is also going to be $114. And that's going to include everything from plan 1 with the business identity free trial. So again, it's going to be the same price for the first 3 months. And then if you want to use the business identity services, then it's going to be $45 per month. But again, if you choose the whole package, it's discounted at 20%. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper. And you can also pick and choose which ones you add on as well, which I just showed you. Okay, so if you choose plan 1, the annual price you're going to be paying per year is either going to be $225 plus state fees, or it's going to be $125 plus state fees. Now, let me explain that. So it's going to be $225 if you choose the registered agent service, which is $125, and you want them to file your annual report as well. So every LLC is required to file an annual report with your state. So for me, that's Kentucky. They charge $100 for that. So per year with this annual plan, if you want the registered agent service and you also want them to file your annual report, it's going to be $225. Now, for me, I personally would not use this annual report service because in Kentucky, it's really easy for me to file that myself. I just have to go to their website and, I just answer some questions, file it, and it's only $15. So I think that part really depends on what state you're in. If it's really difficult for you to file an annual report in your state, I think this service would be very beneficial. Okay, and then for plan 2, the annual price is going to be $657 plus state fees. Okay, so what makes up this number here is the registered agent, which is $125, the annual report, which is $100, and the business identity package. Again, it's $45 a month, but you save 20% if you choose to use the whole thing. So for me personally, when forming my business, what I would do is select plan 1 because these are the 3 things that I would really want. And then for the annual fees, again, I would do plan 1 annual, but I would do the annual report myself. So, basically using Northwest, I would personally be paying $125 per year. So another thing I like about Northwest is, for the annual report, even if you don't want them to file it for you, you still get reminders and notifications when it's due. So Northwest is a phenomenal LLC service. They have really affordable pricing. They have great customer service. And later on in the video, we'll see how they compare to the other LLC services, which we're going to talk about now. Okay, so the next best LLC service is Bizee, formerly known as Incfile. I think around, 2 or 3 years ago, they rebranded from Incfile to Bizee. So if you see, Bizee, Incfile, same thing, they just rebranded. So Incfile is actually who I used to form my business, Josh Burns Tech LLC, back in around 2018. In 2018, Incfile was by far the most popular LLC service that was out there. You saw Incfile anywhere. Bizee actually offers a free LLC formation package. Now again, it's never completely free. No matter what service you use, if they market it as free, it's never free. because you have state fees. You always have to pay the state fees. But Bizee does have a free LLC formation package where you get their registered agent service free for 1 year. The main difference here is with Northwest, you still have that $39 fee, but with Bizee on their basic plan, they don't have their own fee. It's going to be free. Next year, when your registered agent service has to renew and you pay for it, with Bizee, it's going to be $119. And, like you remember with Northwest, it's $125. So Bizee is around $6 cheaper. So another benefit with Bizee is that they are time tested. They were founded in 2004 in Houston, Texas, and they're actually still headquartered there today. And they've also helped over 1 million business entities since then. And my business, Josh Burns Tech LLC, is one of those 1 million. So another thing you get with Bizee, which I like a lot as well, is you get lifetime notifications. So these are going to be, filing date reminders like, you have to do your annual report every year, which we talked about. And it's also going to tell you about deadlines, again, for your annual report and other notifications as well for the lifetime of your LLC. And they also have phone support, which is available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. And just like Northwest, they do put their phone number on, every page of their website. Okay, so this is the main page of the website, and we'll come back here again when I show you the sign-up process. But you can see right here at the top of the page, that is their support phone number. So anytime I've had to contact their support, whether it's calling or, going through like email, I've always been helped really quick. Now, one thing I will say about their phone support, their call center is not strictly based in the US. They have a lot of overseas, employees working for their call center. I haven't had an issue with Bizee's customer service, but I do give Northwest an advantage in that area. Now, to get to the sign-up page, again, you can use the link down below in my description, or you can go to joshburnstech.com/Bizee. So let's go ahead and go there. Okay, so now on the home page, you can either select Incorporate Now, or you can select Form Your LLC for free now. So either one of these is fine. Let's go ahead and click this button here. Okay, so first we need to select our entity type. We're going to do LLC. And we need to select the state, which is going to be Kentucky, or whatever state you live in. Go ahead and select that here. So you can see here, it's going to be $0 for the basic package. And then we have the $40 state fee, which we looked at earlier with Northwest. With this basic package here, we can select it, and you can see it also has a 3-week processing time. So if you choose this option here, it basically means that within 3 weeks, Bizee is going to file your LLC information with your state. So that's basically what comes with this right here, the filing of your articles of organization. You can see that right here, and that's what they're going to file for you with the state. So it's going to come with that. Again, you get the free registered agent service for 1 year. And then after your first year, it's going to be $119. Again, we'll take a look at specific pricing once we get through this section here. And then here you have the option to pay for faster filing. So if you don't want to wait those 3 weeks, you could pay $50 and have it filed within 2 days. I would probably select it because, I could afford $50 for that, and it would be nice not having to wait 3 weeks. So we can select this add-on here. I actually did the standard package, and I'll show you why. So let me just go ahead and switch over to standard so I can show you. Okay, so next we have business contract templates. So this is going to be basically stuff like service agreements for your business, privacy policies, like consulting agreements if you work with other companies for consulting. So I didn't select that when I, formed my LLC with Bizee. You can actually get those contract templates somewhere else if you want, probably cheaper. But if you do want it, it's an additional $150. So next we have the EIN, which is your tax ID number. Again, that's something you definitely want. That's one reason why I chose the standard package, because it's included with this package. Now, if you want to try to make things as cheap as possible, you could just pay the $70 for it here and add it on. But if you do choose the standard package, it is included. Now, another great thing with the standard package is you also get the operating agreement. Now, the operating agreement is something you definitely want, especially if you aren't a single member LLC, because that will detail everything out, like your finances and, who owns like what percentage of your business. You can also pay for a domain name and business email right here. So again, that's kind of like Northwest having, if I wanted to get the joshburnstech.com domain, I could get that here and a business email bundled together. Now, you can add these on here. It's only available with the premium plan. You don't need to pay an LLC service for a domain name and business email. There are better services that are made for that, like Hostinger, who I use. They're linked down below in the description. So I think it's a much better place to build your website and to, have your business email, because that's what they're made for. Okay, so next up we have lifetime compliance alerts. Now, this is something I think you would definitely want, and it's something I wanted. So you can see here, you can add it on. It's included in the standard plan. Again, another reason why I recommend it. And then next up, another reason why I recommend the standard plan, you have unlimited phone and email support. That is one thing that kind of differentiates Northwest over Bizee, is that you have, lifetime support. If you, sign up with them for that $39 plan they have, it's their only plan. But with Bizee, you can see here, you don't have that support on the basic plan. You have to pay for standard. So that's one advantage Northwest has. And then the last things you get with every package, you have your online dashboard. That's basically the website you log into. They give you a business banking account offer. Like a lot of these services will partner with some type of bank and recommend them to you as your business bank. You don't have to use them. There are tons of banks you can use for your business banking and checking. And then you get a business tax consultation as well. So, I think that could be beneficial, doing that consultation if you haven't done that before. As you can see here, you basically have to file this form whenever you want to be taxed as an S-Corp. Later in the video, I'll tell you what I use for this, because my business is now taxed as an S-Corp. This is my first year doing it. And, basically I decided to do it to help, reduce the taxes I pay on self-employment. And I'll tell you about that later. But you can see here, it's included with these standard and premium packages. It's not something I used with Bizee because, again, I'm using someone else for my S-Corp to manage my bookkeeping and payroll and everything else. Basically with the standard package, what, I paid for when I formed my LLC, back in 2018, the pricing was probably different back then. I can't even remember what it was. If I was forming an LLC today, this is what I would choose, this package. And then, the expedited filing, you don't have to choose that. It's optional. If you're fine waiting 3 weeks, leave it unchecked. It's going to be $239. If you're impatient, you want it filed as soon as possible, select it here and it'll be $289. But let's say you want this to be as cheap as possible. You don't care about all this other stuff I showed you. If we go to basic, then again, you're going to pay state fees, $40 for me. But if you live in another state, like we looked at with Alabama, it could be over $200. And that's really it for the sign-up process. Like the rest of it is what we just went through with the Northwest registered agent. And then you're going to go through the same questions, like the exact same questions we looked at with Northwest. You'll go through all those and then you can pay for your LLC formation. It's really that easy. So one thing I want to recommend to you is that when you do form your LLC with, Bizee, Northwest, the next LLC service we're going to talk about, whoever it is, make sure you save your receipt at the end of it. So whether you do your taxes yourself or you have an accountant or CPA like I do, what I did is I, had this receipt for Bizee, gave it to them and I said, hey, this is when I formed my LLC. And they actually use that as a business expense. Okay, so now let's look at the one-time pricing of Bizee compared with the annual pricing like we did with Northwest. Okay, so again, the basic plan is going to be $0 plus state fees, and that's going to include your registered agent, which is free for 1 year. Okay, so the next option is going to be the standard plan, which again is what I recommend. It's what I used, and that is going to be $199 plus state fees. And that's going to include everything from the basic plan, so your registered agent, your EIN, which is your tax ID number, your operating agreement, unlimited phone and email support, and lifetime compliance alerts as well. I really like everything that's bundled here in this $199 plus state fees, which is why I use that plan. They also have a premium plan. I don't really recommend it. It's $299 plus state fees. You get everything from the other plans, and you also get a domain name, business email, 2-day filing time, business contract templates. I just think the standard package is much better, what you get for your money. If you want all those things together, then, I could see it being worth it. But in my opinion, I would rather go with the standard plan. And for the annual pricing, it's going to be $119 plus state fees. That is one advantage of Bizee over Northwest, is that their registered agent service is, around $6 cheaper per year. They're really close in price. I wouldn't let that be your differentiating factor, but they are a little bit cheaper. Now, you can pay them to file your annual report as well, which we looked at with Northwest. And to have Bizee do that for you, it's, I think, $99. I'll actually log in and show you because I made a really stupid mistake. So what I did is I got, a compliance email reminder from Kentucky, like the state. I got that from them, and I also got one from Bizee with the annual report. Now, when I first formed my LLC, I thought those were like two different things. I thought I had to pay it through Bizee and the state. So I did my annual report through the state website. Again, it was only $15. But then I also paid Bizee for it, which was $99. Now, one good benefit of Bizee is they actually noticed that I had already filed it, and they gave me a refund for that $99. So, you could pay Bizee to do it. If you live in a state where it's kind of complicated to do your annual report, then, there could be value in that. But if you live somewhere like I do in Kentucky where it's $15 and you fill something out on their website, which takes 5 minutes to do, then it's not worth it to use one of these LLC services to do that for you. Okay, so this is the main dashboard you're going to see when you get signed up and you log into Bizee. So you can see here they're actually reminding me of the BOI report. This is one of the benefits you get with Bizee if you go with that standard plan like I did, because you get lifetime compliance and, alerts and notifications. You can pay them $99 to file it for you. Now, that's one benefit of Northwest, because again, you could add it on for only $25. And with Bizee, it's going to be $99. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. And there you go. You can see that I filed my company with Bizee. I didn't make that up. I'm telling the truth. And, it's in good active standing as well. And let's scroll down a little bit more. Okay, so from here, you can see a bunch of different things you can actually add on and pay for. And you can also get your different certificates as well, like your certificate of good standing. And then you could do company changes, like if you need to make an amendment, you have to pay for that. There was a fee involved with for me personally, I bought a new house, a few years ago, and I had to change the address of my business, not the, public one, but the private one. So, that's going to be on your articles of organization. Now, if you move or something, you have an address change, you would have to come into Bizee, Northwest, whoever you're using, and basically file an amendment, which is going to change your address for your LLC with the state. Okay, so let's go to all orders receipts right here. Okay, so you can see that I did pay them, to do my annual report in 2021. I think that's before I realized how cheap it was to do it yourself on Kentucky's website. So you can see here in 2023, I paid them to file my annual report, and then they refunded it to me. That's what I wanted to show you here is, make sure you look into the annual report for your state. If it's really easy for you to file it and, cheap, then there's no reason you need to pay, Bizee or whoever. This is how easy it is. So this is the Kentucky website. I can type in, Josh Burns, Tech LLC, do a search. There's my business. So we can select it. And you can see here, it says this company has already filed an annual report for this year. But this is how easy it is. You go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tabs. Fill out your information. It's basically going to be, updating anything that needs to be updated. And then you have the last option here, which is review and file. So you click on that, you make sure everything looks correct, and then you file it. And then you can see over here on this side, total charges, $15. So again, there's no reason to use an LLC service if it's that cheap and easy for you as well. but it can vary depending on your state. Okay, so the next best LLC service is Swyft Filings, which is actually the newest LLC service on this list. They were founded in 2015, so pretty recent, by a lawyer who wanted to simplify the process of business formation. So although they are a lot newer than, Bizee and Northwest Registered Agent, they've already helped over 300,000 businesses form their entities, which is, really impressive in that short amount of time. They've also maintained a 4.7 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot. And, I went through the reviews, and one thing I thought was really good is that they reply to pretty much every negative comment. And it's not like a generic reply either. Like they actually reply with, any type of like correspondence they've sent to that, individual user. So Swyft Filings has a, really similar package structure as Bizee. There are differences in pricing and, what's included, and I'll show you that. And one benefit of their premium package is they offer same-day filing if you submit your order before 3 p.m. Central Time. So Swyft Filings does offer the fastest filing time with your state. It doesn't mean that your state is also going to do everything in one business day. So you may have to wait longer than one business day because you're going to have to wait on the state as well. Now, one of the downsides, in my opinion, is that the registered agent is not free for 1 year. Now, with Bizee and Northwest, like we covered earlier, you get that registered agent service free for 1 year. So with Swyft Filings, you're going to have to pay $149 every quarter for their registered agent service. And when you sign up, you're going to be billed $149 the first time, 3 business days after you sign up. So when you add it up, it's going to be about $596 for their registered agent service for a whole year, compared to Northwest, which is, $125, and Bizee, which is $119. So it is a lot more expensive. They also have a service called Compliance Guard. Now, this includes notifications, alerts, your annual report, and 1 free amendment. Now, this service is $199 per year, and in my opinion, I don't think it's worth it because notifications and alerts are included with, the standard packages on other LLC platforms like Northwest and Bizee. And again, it's, depending on what state you're in, it's really cheap to file your own annual report like I do. The only real benefit here is maybe the 1 free amendment, not having to pay for that. I've had my LLC since 2018, and I've rarely had to file any amendments, but they do offer lifetime customer support, which is available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time like Bizee. So the lifetime customer support is one benefit of Swyft Filings, even if you're on the free plan, so that is one benefit of using them. Okay, so now let's take a look at the sign-up process on Swyft Filings, and I'll show you how it differs from both Bizee and Northwest Registered Agent. So like the other LLC services in this video, you can go to Swyft Filings using the link down below in my description, which is my affiliate link, or you can go to joshburnstech.com/Swyft. So let's go ahead and go there now. Okay, so on this page, we want to select LLC right here. So we have that selected, and then go ahead and select your state. Again, for me, that's going to be Kentucky. And let's click Incorporate now. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit so we can see the different plans. So $0, $199, and $299. So again, the processing time is one of their differentiating factors. On the standard plan, you have 5 business days. Compared to Bizee, you have to basically choose the add-on to make it faster. And then premium is the same day processing. So that is one of the benefits of Swyft Filings. However, with Bizee, you could choose the add-on, which was $50 more. Remember, on the basic package, you don't get lifetime customer support with Bizee. So another thing you get with the standard and premium plan is the custom organizational minutes. Now, this can be a, legal compliance requirement for certain businesses. It's not really needed for a lot of them, but, if it is for yours, then if you go with the standard package or premium, it's going to be free and included. But with the basic package, you can add it on for $25. They also give you a custom LLC kit with the premium plan, or you can add it on for $99. This is a digital one that's going to be stored in one place, and it's going to have a bunch of documents about your business. Whenever I formed my LLC with Bizee in 2018, they actually sent me this in the mail, and I still have it somewhere stored, down in my basement, but it's actually a binder and it has a bunch of those initial documents in it. So you can get that same thing in a digital kit with Swyft Filings. So next we have the operating agreement. Again, this is something I definitely recommend that you get. It's included with the standard and premium plans. And with the basic plan, it's $35, which is actually pretty cheap. But this is something you definitely want. And next we have the BOI report. So this is different from Bizee because it's included in the standard and premium packages. And again, on Bizee, after you get signed up, you can pay $99 for them to file it for you, but it's not included in any of their plans at the moment. And down here, you can see that the EIN or tax ID is included in the standard and premium packages, and you can add it on for $70 in the basic. The custom LLC banking, so it's one of those things that might be beneficial for some people, but the majority of you won't need it. I know I didn't when I created mine. And down here you have the expedited processing, so you can add it on for the other plans. And then the premium plan again has that same day, processing, which is going to be $100 if you pay for it in the other plans. And like the other LLC services, they have some additional add-ons like the website and domain package, some business documents, and business email. Again, you can use other services for these things. You don't need to add it on through an LLC service. This next one here for the personal business address and virtual mailbox, this is something I personally didn't add on, and the majority of you probably don't need it as well. But if you do want it, it's going to be $29 a month with the basic plan, and then the other ones you get some months free. And then last, you can see everything that's included with every single package. The main things are going to be a free tax consultation, like again is something you get with Bizee. And you also get a free trial of their compliance guard service. Again, this is $199 per year, and in my opinion, it's not worth it. Let's take a look at the different pricing plans, how much you're going to have to pay initially, how much you're going to have to pay per year, like we did with the other LLC services. The basic plan is going to be $0 plus whatever your state fees are. And this is going to include your filing service and lifetime support. Again, the main thing with the basic plan with Swyft Filings is it doesn't come with that 1 year free registered agent service. You're going to have to pay $149 3 days after you sign up, and then you'll be billed the same $149 every quarter. And next, for the standard plan, it's going to be $199 plus state fees, the same thing as Bizee. And what you get with that is, the organizational minutes, the operating agreement, the BOI, EIN, and also express processing. The one thing, again, you don't get is the registered agent free for 1 year. But the one thing this does include here that Bizee doesn't is the BOI report. Again, with Bizee, it's an additional $99 to get them to file it for you. So that is one benefit of Swyft Filings. Next, we have the premium package. It's going to be $299 plus state fees. That includes everything from the other plans, plus the LLC kit, same-day processing, and that 1 year website and domain package. Now for the annual pricing, that's going to be $596 plus state fees. And that's because the registered agent service is $149 billed every quarter. Now, for me personally, if I was, forming my LLC on Swyft Filings, I think I would choose the standard package right here because it comes with the BOI report, express processing, and your EIN as well. That's what I would personally choose. Okay, so next I'm going to rank the 3 best LLC services in a format of good, better, and best. So I'm going to tell you exactly who I would use and which one I think is the overall best LLC service that's worth your money this year. Okay, so starting with the good ranking or the 3rd best LLC service, that is going to be Swyft Filings. Now, the pros of Swyft Filings are the same-day filing, which we just talked about, and the lifetime customer support on all plans. And the cons compared to both Bizee and Northwest are the expensive registered agent service. Again, it's $149 per quarter. And the other con is the $199 that you have to pay for Compliance Guard for the annual report, one free amendment, and then the other compliance alerts and notifications. Again, I just really don't think it's worth that price. And I think what you get with both Bizee and Northwest registered agent is currently better than Swyft Filings. So coming in at number 2 with the better ranking is Bizee, formerly known as Incfile. So Bizee has the best free package that includes 1 year of free registered agent service. Their free package is better than Swyft, and again, Northwest doesn't have a free package because they have that $39 one-time fee. And the registered agent service with Bizee is also the cheapest out of all three. It's $119 per year after your first year, which is going to be free. And with Bizee, you also get lifetime compliance notifications and alerts on both the standard and premium plans compared to Swyft Filings, where you have to pay for, again, Compliance Guard, which is $199 per year, which is separate. And now for the number 1 best overall LLC formation service, that's going to be Northwest Registered Agent. They have the best overall support out of every LLC service I've ever looked into. They are the only one that's completely US based. They reply to your emails within 1 business day. You can call anytime and get connected with someone from the US in their support department. They really get that customer service, and word of mouth is by far the best way to, actually grow your revenue, which they say they don't care about. They do care about it. They just know that, if your customers are happy, it's going to, cause them to tell more people about them, which is going to grow their revenue. So Northwest really gets the importance of having really good customer service. They also have the best overall package, which is $114 plus state fees for the registered agent service, which is free, the EIN, and BOI report. That was the best overall package out of everything that we looked at. They also have the best data privacy. They will never sell your data, and they have strict privacy practices in place to ensure that your data doesn't get leaked or hacked as well. I think the only thing I would give Bizee and Swyft Filings maybe a little bit of an edge is that they do have a free plan plus state fees, because with Northwest you have to pay the $39, which is that one-time fee. However, if your business is currently making $60,000 a year or more, then the best option might be to form your LLC with the S-Corp taxation. That's exactly what I did using collective.com, and I've been using them for about 7 months so far. And I personally should have restructured as an S-Corp a long time ago. I basically kept putting it off because of, just the feeling of it being overwhelming, not knowing what I needed to do. I would have had to use my local accountant and go through them until I found collective.com. And they handle, everything I was worried and overwhelmed about having to do myself or go through an accountant, which is like the bookkeeping, payroll, and, staying in compliance with the IRS. So if your business is currently making $60,000 a year or more, then I would definitely recommend watching my complete tutorial on Collective, which I recently uploaded. I cover my entire experience using Collective, all the pros, all the cons. I show you what the Collective dashboard looks like. I show you my business bank account and credit card, some options for those. And I also show you how you can get your first month completely for free as well. So definitely watch this video right here next.